It's showtime at Homestead, Miami.
Andre Baranowskis at the line, steals it in the Indy 250.
Come on, if your back's in trouble, let it go. Gordon's to the wall, jumps right around.
Side by side on the final lap, coming to the checkered flag.
Steve Morgan, the last lap pass, and the victory in Las Vegas.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Heart of a lion, never say never. Cut like a diamond, shine under pressure. Oh, it's time to fire, hold up. Oh, it's time to fire, hold up. Pound on your chest like there's no tomorrow. Just play the game right, no one can follow. Oh, it's time to fire, hold up. Oh, it's time to fire, hold up.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and we are here at the Daytona International Speedway. The season is just around the corner for season number 9 of the NOFSRL Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and I cannot tell you how excited I am for this year. We got big things planned for the whole NOFSRL. And we kick it all off with preseason thunder in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series like we always do. I'm joined alongside Alex Bonksy and Nathan Stapleton here tonight. We'll get to them in a second. But it's Daytona, and it is time for the season to begin. 2 weeks from now, we'll have the Meliello Smooth Fest right here at the Daytona International Speedway to kick off the season. And next week, next Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Napa Fam, it's Chick-fil-A Cup Series sign-ups. Of course, some of these cars already have drivers in them. There are reserves for the 2-season veterans, the champions, the All-Star Race winner, who we do have in the booth with us here tonight. But other than that, we'll probably have roughly around 20 cars available in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and then 40 cars available in the Turkey Hill Series. You can only be in one series or the other. But y'all should have an easy time getting some sort of ride. Of course, on Monday, we'll open up the reserve sign-ups. Of course, the reserve sign-ups have already been opened, but we'll open that up to the Turkey Hill Series as well. If you know you're not going to make the Chick-fil-A Cup Series sign-ups on Friday night, the Turkey Hill Series sign-ups are right afterwards on Friday, and if you know you're not going to be able to make it, you'll be able to reserve a ride in the Turkey Hill Series as long as you forgo signing up in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. So that's the most important thing right now. I want to get that out of the way. And now we're going to show you guys the cars, or at least the primary schemes for all these teams. We have some new teams this year, some returning teams, some returning faces. It's going to be a great season, and Alex, you saw what it was like at Daytona last year with all those guys going for the race victory, all the way up to the end of the season when Nathan Baird clinched the championship early. For these new teams in particular, what do they have to get right here tonight in preparation for the season beginning in a couple of weeks?
Well, in my honest opinion, getting ready for it in a couple weeks' time, it's kind of in the turn of you need to prepare how to be able to go through the draft, how to stay in line, and especially how to not try and cause a big wreck, in my opinion. But, you know, in all seriousness, this season is going to, as you said, it's going to be a great one. I think it's going to be great. With all the drivers coming into tonight, testing, and all the drivers who will be running this season, you know, I wish you the best of luck. And, you know, Daytona, it's a great track, and I can't wait for it.
Nathan, you have a very, very exciting thing going on this season. You're going to be an owner-driver as you won the All-Star race last year, and you're going to be driving the number 97 for your own team, NS Racing. Now, for you guys, you're a single-car team. You do have a Turkey Hill Series operation, but other than that, you're a single-car team, and traditionally, single-car teams tend to struggle just a little bit in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Of course, then again, last year, Nathan Baird won the championship on a single-car team. So, what are the humps and the challenges you guys have to face coming into the season being an owner-driver the first time ever?
Well, it's just kind of difficult because, sure, I've been an owner-driver in multiple different leagues and multiple different series, but the first time in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, one of the top series, and the pressure's on, for sure. But NS Racing is known to pretty much be ready when the time comes and when they have the most pressure, and especially this season. I'm glad to pull a Tony Stewart and drive and own my own Cup team, and I'm happy to own 3 cars in the Tokyo Hero Series. It's gonna be a fun year, and I can't wait for it to start.
It won't be long now. Those 2 weeks are going to go by really quickly, and we're now really starting to get into the heat of the preseason. Of course, this is preseason thunder, the first time we've seen these cars on the racetrack, and like I mentioned, we got new teams, we got old teams. Of course, you might recognize that number 79 Hertz machine. We're going to go ahead and start with that one. We're going to go through all the cars that are going to be racing here in season number 9 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. This is the 79 Hertz Toyota. Of course, if you remember from prior seasons, this used to be the 75. The charters for the 75 and 79 flipped. Daniel McMillan now goes to the 79, while Matt Dahlia goes to the 75. So they switched numbers this season, but the whole Otter Island Motorsports team is the same as it was back in season number 7. At least when it comes to the driver lineup, it is still Matt Dahlia, Jesse Turner, and this guy, Daniel McMillan. McMillan, unfortunately, did not win a race last year, but he's one of the solidest drivers we have in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, so we'll have to see what he can do. Another guy who is very solid here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series is Cody Sill. He'll be returning to Golden Motorsports, and not only does Golden Motorsports have Cody Sill returning, they're going to be expanding their operation, adding on the number 3 team. This number 3 team used to be with Beast Racing, but Golden Motorsports picked up the charter for the team, and they're going to have a 2-car operation this year. And 2-car operations seem to help guys out quite a bit, especially when you have a guy who raced on the single-car team moving over to a multiple-car team. We saw that with Trey Bartow last year. Bartow was with the single-car team in Season 7, then moved over to Titan Fury Motorsports. Cody Sill had a very tough season last year. Do you think the addition of that extra car to Golden Motorsports will help out Cody Sill this season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series?
Oh, that's without a doubt. Usually, as you said before, 1-car teams, they usually tend to struggle a lot in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and just for the fact now that, you know, this team is expanding out to a 2-car operation, I think it's really going to help them out in the long run, and especially on these super speedways like Daytona, Talladega. I don't know if we're still going to Armory Digital this year or not.
We are.
That's good. So, yeah, so tracks like that, you know, it's really going to help them out in the long run, especially when you're out there drafting. You know, you always, because at the end of the day, you're always going to pick up your teammate as a draft partner no matter what. That's kind of like your original draft partner at these super speedways. Plus that, and the way, if there were ever like a team standings going on in this situation, you know, it'd be great for a team standing point. But, you know,
it definitely will, and we will have that Owners' Championship going on. We'll have to see what Golden Motorsports can do as they expand to a 2-car operation. And another thing this season is that we have the Turkey Hill Hot Seat coming back as well. So some of these teams are also going to have an uncharted ride, so that also helps in the team situation and in the owners' points. And like I mentioned, we have new teams. So the first of the new teams are going to be going over. Actually, NS Racing's a new team. So there's your first new team right there. But our second new team, Noah Clifton, going to be becoming an owner here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Of course, he's been racing on that for quite a while. He's got his team, Trans-Tasman Racing, a 2-car operation, number 39 and the number 47. And we do have a returning driver coming back on this team. That'll be Mitchell Henderson driving the 47. The 39 is currently an open ride. But we have, I believe, 4 new teams. Actually, it might be 5 new teams this year. And we're really intrigued to see how these new teams will do. Of course, we've never seen these teams before. As far as I know, I don't think any of these guys have been owners before. Angel Racing and Angel Olvera. Olvera also has an operation this year in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He had a Turkey Hill Truck Series operation over the fall. But most of these guys are completely new to the owning. Not all of them. But some of them are. It'll be interesting to see what those teams do. Here's the number 77 machine of Jesse Turner, the first ever winner in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. That's all I got to say about him. Of course, Otter Island Motorsports only had 1 win last year. That was Matt Dahlia at Indianapolis, and that was the penultimate race of the season. They did not have a good year last year in their 3-car team. We'll have to see what they can do. I want them to do better because they are my own team. So we'll have to see how that team goes down. Andrew Miller will be returning the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He moves back to Zidell Motorsports, and Zidell Motorsports switching over to Chevrolet. If you remember back in Season 7, we didn't have many Chevrolets in the field. Now Chevrolet might be the most popular manufacturer out there. So how do you think the Chevys are going to do this year? We have a lot of them on the racetrack here in Season number 9. Nathan, you driving a Chevy. How's it going to be for the Chevy operation this year?
Well, I think that because there's so many Chevys out there, and just a couple seasons ago there were not many at all, I do think that Chevys will do a really good job. Of course, I'm not trying to brag because I'm a Chevy driver and the owner, but just overall, the more cars that you have, whether it's more Toyotas, Fords, or Chevys, the better chances of one of the manufacturers winning.
And we'll have to see how those Chevrolets do. Of course, Full Frontal Motorsports, they're going to be returning as the same exact team from last year. Of course, the drivers are going to be different. They actually do not have any drivers tapped yet. Diego Pez moved over to Beast Racing this year, so the 92 will be left open for anyone who might sign up for that. For 68 is also an open ride for the team as well, and they have their same sponsors coming back. Nathan Baird, here we go. This is the new dog in town, the defending Chick-fil-A Cup Series champion. Just like you, Nathan, he's also going to be an owner driver this year for Baird Motorsports, driving number 16. Of course, this was the charter that Garrett Sonor had last season. We don't know if Garrett Sonor is going to be returning this year or not, but we do know he won't be in the 16 because our defending champion will be in the number 16. And Nathan Baird, going to the inside of his old ride, the ride he won the championship in. What are the pressures on him now that he's already won a championship to go out there and win another championship as an owner driver? Do you think he'll live up to the expectation again?
Honestly, in my opinion, I think that Nathan Baird coming in as defending champion is kind of going to be, it's going to be in a sense almost either a sigh of relief or weight added to your shoulder. I think it's going to be more a sigh of relief just for the fact of, you know, every single driver coming in always wants to dream of winning the Chick-fil-A Cup Series title, and now that he's done that, he can kind of get that off his chest. However, with the weight bearing down is people are going to start asking him, can he defend the title? So, in my opinion, I think it's going to be a mix of he's relieved that he's already won the title, but at the same time, people are going to start asking him, can he be able to do it again?
And we have had one prior champion win back-to-back championships, and that's actually Elijah Gordon, who won the Season 6 to Season 7 championship. So it can be done. And of course, right behind him, Kinghart Family Racing, they're going to be expanding as well. Of course, they have their regular ride, number 40. We don't have a driver for it yet, but their other driver is going to be John Arnn, who's definitely proven himself to be a very solid driver. We'll get to him in a moment once we get to the 05 car on the racetrack. But right behind this number 40 machine, it's Trey Bartow, and I really hate to say this, and I'm hoping I can convince him to stay, but Bartow announced earlier on, a couple of months ago, this would be his last season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Of course, you know this guy has been in the number 4 every single season of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series since season number 1. An absolute honor to still have him around. He's an absolute great guy. And he finally broke a long losing streak last year at North Wilkesboro. Had been since Season 5, since he won a race up until that point. And these guys are looking pretty strong right now at Titan Fury Motorsports. They won back-to-back Owners' Championships. Do you think Trey Bartow is going to have a good shot at possibly contending for the Drivers' Championship this year?
Well, it's a long battle. It's going to be a long season ahead, and I think he will just for the fact it's last season. And usually if you're going into retirement, you want to try and leave on top. A big season veteran this guy is. I think he has the possibility. And I don't want to forget to mention also, just recently that kind of joined us up here is good friend Trey Wright just joined into this whole commentary. So Trey Wright, welcome. What do you think of the whole situation with Trey Bartow? Yeah, we can hear you.
Alright,
Little
so
bit.
I kind of joined the conversation late, but yeah, Trey Bartow has been a staple in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series ever since its inception. So to see him go is a lot like a driver like Dale Earnhardt Jr. or Jeff Gordon retiring. It's like one of the top legends in the sport that's been since the early years. So to see him go, it's definitely going to be sad, but he's want to explore greater pastures in life. And we wish him best on his final season of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he can do over there at the Titan Fury operation. But it is, like I mentioned, a very strong operation there. Igor Brito, the owner of that team, they have won the past 2 Owners' Championships, so watch out for those guys once again. They're going to be strong, and since he's in here, we might as well mention the other Titan Fury car, Brad Stover, who won the Season 7 Rookie of the Year. Of course, Brad Stover has won a race in both seasons he's competed in. He's always a solid driver in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and I'd expect more of the same, that Red Bull number 99. go ahead and mention a couple of new teams here. Anderson Racing, they did have a Turkey Hill Truck Series operation in season number 6, and in the fall, I should say. They're going to be expanding the 2 cars here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, the number 30 and number 64. Neither of those guys have drivers yet, but I have a feeling they're going to be pretty solid. They had Edwin Mendez driving their truck over the fall, and Edwin Mendez almost won the Drivers' Championship, so I think they're going to have a pretty strong operation here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series for season number 9. Number 6, Chuck E. Cheese moving their sponsorship over to a single-car team in Angel Racing. They began in the Turkey Hill Truck Series, and they got a single-car operation here and 3 cars in the Turkey Hill Series. I think they're also going to be pretty strong as well. They got to win with Sebastian Kukalan in the trucks. We'll have to see what the number 6 can do. We don't have a driver on it yet, but they're one of only 5 teams that run Fords. And Trey has 3/5 of those cars, and leading this pack on the outside lane. The name isn't on the car quite yet, but it is an absolute honor to see this guy return. Cameron Garlington in the number 34 for American Motorsports. And I know, Trey, you've had a little bit of an issue with keeping drivers from year to year, but you gotta be honest, picking up Cameron Garlington has got to be a big win for your team here in Season 9.
Oh, definitely it is. Like, he's one. When you hear the name Cameron Garlington, you automatically think of NR 2003. So to have him on this team is an absolute win for us, along with picking up Herschel Arvin Alonso, who's come out of retirement suddenly, to drive the number 28. So we've got a very strong team here in our 3rd year in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, so I'm very excited to see where this goes, and hopefully we can get a couple of wins and maybe even capture American Motorsports' first championship.
We'll have to see what happens. Of course, you guys won the Daytona 500 last year with Josh Marzak driving this car. Obviously capable of winning it. We'll have to see what he can do. And I apologize if Trey's a little bit low. He popped in late, and I wasn't able to adjust his volume. Hopefully you guys are still able to hear him. I'm able to, but he's a little bit lower than everybody else. But hey, you know what? We're just beginning. We got to get those bugs out now so that we don't do it when the season begins. But, see, who else have we not? Yeah, you sound a little bit better there. Who else have we not discussed here? Matt Dallio there in the 75. We thought he was going to retire. We didn't see him around all season last year, but he's going to be coming back. Number 75 will also be, of course, sporting Valvoline, but body armor coming on board for Otter Island Motorsports as well. Definitely excited to have them on the Otter Island team. And Matt Dallio won that penultimate race at Indianapolis. Things are looking up for Dallio in his career. Of course, he won the Season 4 Chick-fil-A Cup Series Championship. He's a solid driver and have a good chance at winning the championship here in Season number 9. And we got a new team here, completely new team this time. Sort of. Christian Russell, the owner of this team, he actually did own a Turkey Hill Truck Series team as well. But this is Alan A. Dale Racing. They're going to have a 2-car operation. This is the 06 machine. They don't have a driver yet. We'll have to see what they can do. They actually had Chase Marks as their driver in the Turkey Hill Truck Series, and he won 3 times for him last season. So they're a good operation. We'll have to see what they can do. We have yet to mention the Velocitar Racing cars in this pack, the number 12 machine and the number 35. Of course, Matt Tuck, the owner of that team. They, I can't remember if they won a race last year. I'm pretty sure they did. They did win with Andrew Ross. We'll have to see if Andrew Ross returns to that team or not. But as of right now, they don't have any drivers tapped for their team, so we'll have to see how it all goes down. Wyatt Quill drove the 33 last year for Full Frontal Motorsports. Like I mentioned earlier on, Full Frontal Motorsports does not have any drivers for that team yet. But either way, those are a few of the guys right there racing in that big pack. Currently, the fastest car is number 40. Of course, it doesn't really matter how fast they are. This really does not determine how well they're going to do throughout the whole season. Of course, they're at Daytona. They're running in a draft. It's just a matter of where you happen to be and how fast you go. Number 81 here, Ace Garcia, another returning veteran, going to be his 4th season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series for Hamill Racing Enterprises. They got a new sponsorship with Coca-Cola. And the other Anderson Racing machine, number 64 there, Julius Anderson, the owner of that team. They're going to be in their first ever Chick-fil-A Cup Series season. So Nathan, all the guys we've seen so far, which team do you really think is going to stand out this year? Which one of the new teams, I should say, is going to stand out this year? We have Anderson Racing, we have Alan A. Dale Racing, we got Baird Motorsports, we got NS Racing, your team coming along here as well. We have yet to see any of the Father Fruit Motorsports teams yet. They got 2 cars this year in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. They're going to be solid. Who do you think of those new teams is going to be the best this season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series?
Boy, they hit me right on the spot. From what I've seen and from what I've heard, all of these new teams are really, really fast. And, but to be honest, I think, the three teams that will probably do the best is Father Fruit Motorsports. Mostly because they have really amazing schemes, but also I think that they might have a breakout year in the first year. Of course, my team, but I can only hope. And then most importantly, Nathan Baird in his own team. I think he's going to have a really good year driving for his own team in the number 16. But we just have to wait and see if he can join Elite Company and be only the second ever back-to-back champion in the AAA Cup Series.
We'll have to see what Nathan Baird can do. Of course, we're going to have a slightly different system this year. Once again, we're changing the championship up, but it's not that much. Going to reintroduce the original chase format. Well, not the original one, but we're going to reintroduce the chase format. So the first 20 races of the regular season, top 10 in points, and 2 wild cards advance onto the chase, and then those final 10 races determine who wins the Chick-fil-A Cup Series Championship on points out of those 12 drivers. So we're going to reintroduce that format again. The good thing, and in case anyone's a little bit concerned about us changing the championship all the time, we would still have had Elijah Gordon win the championship in the season number 7 under this format, and we still would have had Nathan Baird win the championship last year under this format. So it would not have affected the champion in the past 2 seasons. So this is the direction we're looking to go in. Last year, Nathan Baird clinched the championship 2 races early. We want it to be a little bit better for the other guys to have a little bit more of a shot at the championship later on in the season. Of course, Nathan Baird 100% deserved that championship last year, but looking at making the competition just a little bit closer in the championship. Of course, Nathan Baird just had a breakout season. That King R Family Racing team did an excellent job. Well, let's see what King R Family Racing can do this year with John Arndt joining the team. Of course, John Arndt has won a lot of races in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. 21 wins on Napa Fan, more than anybody else. And Trey, I mean, you know that John Arndt's a great driver. What do you think he's going to bring to the table for King R Family Racing?
Well, definitely. We saw last year with Nathan Baird. He took, King R Racing was not exactly the most consistent team in years past, but Nathan Baird, he took that mid-place car, and he took it to a championship. John Arndt, he has a lot more experience. I want to say talent than Nathan Baird, a lot more experience in Chick-fil-A Cup Series. So I'd say he's going to take it to even greater heights in that 05. But another thing I do want to point out that is going to shake up a couple things in the season. We have a bunch of new tracks we're introducing in this season. Hillside, Boston, Portland, Nashville Fairgrounds. 4 very new tracks to this series that are going to prove very challenging, especially Portland, because a lot of drivers don't even know where Portland was a track until IndyCar went there last year. So there 4 new markets, 4 new opportunities for these drivers to get that first win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series is definitely going to be exciting to see who gets it done where and who gets those 4 wins, who wins those 4 races. It's going to be a blast of a season. I can't wait to see those 4 tracks have their inaugural race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series.
I can tell you haven't been around that long. We actually did go to Boston from Season 3 on the Season 5, interestingly enough. So that's actually a returning track, so not quite right about that, but don't worry about it. We do have, though, a lot of new tracks coming back on. Of course, like Trey mentioned, we do have Nashville Fairgrounds. I think that's one of the biggest ones that we're coming to. The race is probably going to be really good there. We're looking forward to that one. Of course, Hillside is coming back, a fictional track coming onto the schedule. And Boston coming back onto the schedule will be interesting as well. Trey Bartow was the last driver to win there. We'll have to see how that affects the chase, because both of those races, Hillside and Boston, can be right after each other in the same week during the chase. It's going to be an interesting time of the year once we get to that part of the season in July. And of course, Portland. That's the big one that I think a lot of people are, writing question marks about. We have no idea how that race is going to play out. It's kind of the replacement for Road America. Road America isn't returning this year, so we'll have to see how these guys fare out there. But we wanted a couple of Pacific Northwest races. Bringing back Armory Digital, of course. That'll be a great race. And, of course, Portland will be on the schedule as well. And we got a lot of great races coming up in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series and the Turkey Hill Series as well. And the IndyCar Series. IndyCar Series isn't going to be until May. But a lot of great races coming up here on Napa Fan in 2020. Number 25 for North State Racing. Neither of the North State cars have drivers yet. Mitchell Henderson drove the 25 last year. Of course, Henderson's going to be moving over to Trans-Tasman Racing in the 47 for season number 9. But North State Racing, one of the charter teams of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, you know, they are very solid, and they've always contended for championships and for race wins and everything. Davey Johnson over this team, looking forward to seeing how it all plays out for them. They'll also have a Turkey Hill Series car as well, so things looking good for North State Racing here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Let's see if there's anyone else we have yet to mention. How can we not mention this guy, Zachary Fitzwater, number 9, the Season 7 Daytona 500 champion, 9-time Chick-fil-A Cup Series race winner, more than anybody else in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He's returning once again to Beast Racing and Marty Johnson's team right there. And I don't need to say anything else about him. You know he's good, and you know these guys will be contending for race wins. As a matter of fact, though, last season was one of the first seasons Zachary Fitzwater has not won a race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. I think that, and it might have been season number 1, maybe. There was another season he had not won a race in, but Zachary Fitzwater, a 9-season veteran in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series now. He's been around for a long time. Didn't have the best of years last year, and I think they're going to be on a rebound. Beast Racing moving down the 2 cars. They're bringing in Diego Yepez. You know, Yepez is a very solid driver, contended for the championship last year. I think those guys are going to have a great season. So they're focusing on just 2 cars instead of 3. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes down. Number 13 for Type Fury Motorsports. There is not a driver on this car yet. I would imagine Kukulon's going to try to return to it, though. So keep that open for the Season 4 Turkey Hill Series champion. And we got some other guys out here. How about my man Nicholas Samadillo, Mr. Edge? He's going to be back for Zidell Motorsports, and Mountain Dew coming on board to sponsor this team, and I don't need to say anything else about Nicholas Samadillo either. Of course, then again, it had been a very long time since Samadillo had won a race up until his Talladega win last season. It had been over 3 seasons since he last won a race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and he actually only has 4 wins in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. So he's won a Daytona 500, he's won an Indianapolis 250, he's won a Haas IndyCar Series championship. The one major thing he has not won is the Chick-fil-A Cup Series championship. What are the odds of Nicholas Samadillo hoist that trophy later on in September?
Well, in my honest opinion, I have faith in Samadillo. He's a seasoned veteran. He's been in it for a long, long time. And trust me on this, like I said, Samadillo in the past has always been like a close little friendly nudge rivalry within the NOFSRL, and even back when the NRLOA was a thing. And he's always been good consistently. And as long as he's been in racing, he's kept contending for wins, and I think this year might actually be his breakout year in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series.
We're going to have to see what Samadillo can do this season. Definitely looking forward to see what he can do in the number 48 for Zidell Motorsports. This is the only Zidell Motorsports car right here, number 7, that does not have a driver yet. Christian Master drove for this team last year. We'll have to see what the Kubota team can do. And, of course, all new sponsors, a new manufacturer for Zidell Motorsports. A lot of exciting things going on in that team, but they're also keeping Nicholas Samadillo and bringing in Andrew Miller, and I think that's going to definitely help that team out. Here's the other Alan A. Dale Racing machine, the 04 Bailey's Camaro. And neither of the Alan A. Dale Racing cars have drivers quite yet, so we'll have to see who ends up in those rides. Of course, number 66 machine here, that's for North State Racing. Patrick Smith drove this car last year. Of course, he might take up the opportunity to return this year as well. We don't know quite yet. Of course, like I mentioned, reserve signups going up on YouTube on Monday, so you can check that out and see how it all goes down there for those reserve guys. And here we go. This is the team I think a lot of people are really looking forward to. They brought in some good schemes. Jonathan Logan, a new owner here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, bringing in Father Fruit Motorsports, the number 5 and the number 95 teams here. I don't think I'm actually running the primaries for either of these guys here in testing, but you will see the primaries once we get to the season's beginning in February. This is number 5. This used to be for Elijah Gordon Incorporated. That team folded at the end of last year. The charter for the number 5 went over to Father Fruit Motorsports. They picked it up, and I'm looking forward to see how these guys do. I'm looking forward to see who drives for their team. Neither of the cars have drivers yet, but I have a feeling this team's going to be pretty solid this year. That scheme right there, and Jonathan Logan himself painted these schemes. One of the best painters I've ever seen hit the NOFSRL, and he's our newest NOFSRL member. Check out his series coming up here in February as well, the Nutrien Pro Series. Going to be a great series. Definitely recommend you check it out, and definitely click the link to the NOFSRL Discord if you haven't joined already. That's where all the information for the NOFSRL is. Definitely recommend checking it out. So number 15 for Velocitar Racing, we did not get to mention that car yet, but there isn't a driver yet. Of course, Velocitar Racing switched from Dodge to Toyota, so they got the TRD under their hood. And Toyota and Chevy are probably going to be the 2 manufacturers this year that go for that owner's title. Dodge might also have a say in who wins it too, but I don't think they're going to have the same strength as he has had the past couple of seasons here. Diego Yepes in the 88. This is one of the bigger moves this season. He drove for Full Frontal Motorsports last year, moving over to Beast Racing, one of the bigger teams here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and have a good feeling about Diego Yepes. He's the defending Meliolo Smooth Fest winner, also won California last year, and it's going to be his third season. I'm going to ask you, Nathan, how do you think Diego Yepes is going to do this season driving for Beast Racing?
Well, I think he's probably going to do a pretty good job over at Beast Racing. Of course, the owner of the NOFSRL, trying to make that team better and better each year, and I think he has the best roster for the two-car teams in the series. Zachary Fitzwater and Diego Yepes, two great drivers, and earlier Trey Wright mentioned some stuff about the schedule. One thing I'm very I can't speak, very happy about is Talladega being on my birthday, so that's gonna be awesome.
Hey, and it'd be a super birthday if that 97 happens to go to Victory Lane during the Mountain Dew Kickstart 500 in April. But either way, gonna get through our last few cars here, and then let you guys do some talking. I haven't let you guys talk enough in this this video here. And of course, something that we're gonna be doing in the Turkey Hill Series this year, at least we're gonna try to do all driver broadcasts. When I say all driver, it doesn't mean you have to be a driver. You don't have to be a driver to be part of it, but I'm letting other people do the commentating for the Turkey Hill Series this year, and I might try it out here with these three guys in the booth here. We'll have to see how it all goes down. Of course, it's just a practice session, so it's a little bit difficult to do that, but definitely looking forward to that. Trying to bring some new things to the table here in the NR community and the NOFSRL, and the Turkey Hill Series is going to be a great place to try that whole thing out, so looking forward to see how that all goes down. And looking forward to seeing how Trans-Tasman Racing does with Mitchell Henderson behind the wheel. Of course, Mitchell Henderson is the development driver to Stuart Cretton. Stuart Cretton has been in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series in some way, shape, or form for every single season. Great to have him back, and Mitchell Henderson will be in the Meliolo Smooth Fest. He's not going to be a rookie, so these guys definitely got a lot going for him. The number 47 team. They're going to have an experienced driver who won a race last year join that team, so I think Noah Clifton has some good guys there supporting a team. And I think the last team we've yet to mention is Hamill Racing Enterprises. They're also one of the charter teams of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. You're going to have number 83. They have Ace Garcia in the 81. We did mention him, and they also have the number 22. You might have seen that earlier on. We didn't get to mention that. There it is leading the 34, and you mentioned Heritage Larvin Alonso coming out of retirement for the 50th time to drive for American Motorsports in number 28 machine. Like I mentioned, that's the Hamill Racing Enterprises machine, the number 22 right there, and this is the other follow-through motorsports team. Of course, they got three sponsors on this 95 team, Sirius XM, Procore, and Dryden. Now, all three of them have schemes. Of course, I can't put them all on the track at the same time. This is the Sirius XM scheme. It might actually be the secondary scheme for this team, but definitely a great scheme that Jonathan Logan did. Jonathan Logan also painted the Anderson Racing machine, so definitely a lot of credit to him. Thank you very much once again to Matthew Logan for doing that for us, and I think we have mentioned every single full-time team here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Going through the motions here and seeing who's on the racetrack and who's not. I think the 38 might be the last one, and this is the one American Motorsports team that does not have a driver yet. Trey, who do you want to be driving this number 38 in season number 9?
Justin Roberts. No questions, no thinking needed. I believe he had one or two race wins last year, and he was definitely consistent week in and week out. He was fighting. He wasn't a major factor for the champion, but he was kind of that dark horse that kind of lurked around in the shadows the entire time. So, if Justin Roberts, if he watches this video, tell him if he wants to drive this 38 for me, that I would love it if he wants to get in that car again.
We'll have to see. Like I mentioned, the reserve sign-up goes up on Monday, so everyone who's not in the Discord will get that notification out, and we'll have to see who joins these final few slots for the reserve guys. And, of course, the rest of them is open to everyone, and that's when it all goes down next Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and I think that's it. I think we've gone through every car here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series full-time. I think we keep on getting better with the paint schemes. Of course, I didn't make them all. I made some of them, of course. I think I'm getting better at painting. I painted the 06. That's a good one. I painted the 37. I did some good things. Stuart Gratton painted a lot of the ones that we used last year for Full Frontal Motorsports and North State Racing. Jonathan Logan painted his schemes. And we've seen a couple of wrecks here tonight already. Haven't gotten to them, but That's one thing about Daytona. If you go 4 wide off the corner, they tend to not figure it out. But these guys, we're going to have to figure some things out here before the Daytona 500 weekend comes up here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. But good to get it out of the way now so it doesn't happen later on, right?
Yeah, that's the truth. You always want to get those preseason jitters out of the way.
Well, there's one torn up NS Racing call away. Probably not the last one either.
Yeah, you're a good driver, man. You're a good driver. No, we'll have to see how that all shakes out as the season goes along with Rex and everything. Of course, we're going to Daytona Speedway physics like we always do. We know what this place is like by now, and it's pretty common to see that off of turn number 4. That's just the way it goes, but we'll have to see. We got the Smooth Fest, we got the Duels, and we got the Daytona 500 for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We also got the Florida's Natural 300 and the Turkey Hill Series here as well, so there are going to be plenty of wrecks between those 4 races as the Speed Weeks goes along here in mid-February. But either way, I'm going to ask all 3 of you here, what are you most looking forward to in season number 9 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series?
Well, I think before we get to me, I think we should start with Trey Wright, see what he's looking for. Trey, what do you think look forward to in season number 9?
Well, 2 things here. One, I suggest an edit for turn number 4 on this track. Add a sign says, "Do not go 4 wide here, or else you will die." And then 2, this is I've been looking forward to this season ever since last season ended. The last season ended on a pretty high note for us. Had all 3 cars get wins. Some were not points paying wins, but hey, a win's a win. But this season we're bringing back new venue. We're bringing up new venues. We're bringing back old venues, like you mentioned, Napa. Plus, we are having a massive face uplift with the schedule. We're no longer having Homestead be the final race. That's moved up to race number 5 or 6. Daytona, we've only have one Talladega race, so that's going to shake things up. Daytona is at the front and back end of the season, so it's a lot like a real-life NASCAR, which I'm very looking forward to. And Darlington is the last race of the season, the championship race. That is going to be a fun one. Along with the new points format changes, this is probably going to be one of the best seasons in Chick-fil-A Cup Series history. I cannot wait to kick things off with the Smooth Fest.
Well, I mean, that's great, and I can't agree with you more on that because, just seeing these new changes, it's amazing. But my personal favorite thing that I can't wait for this year, and Napa fan already knows this whole deal that's going to happen throughout this week, I cannot wait until the North Wilkesboro Chick-fil-A Cup Series race because that ties in with the weekend of the James and Dean Wickert Shootout at North Wilkesboro Speedway. So you have full top league Chick-fil-A Cup Series racing with a mix of local racing as well, all on a action-packed short track. And remember last year's James and Dean Wickert Shootout, how we saw the finishes there in the local stuff? I think the Chick-fil-A Cup Series is going to have some pretty interesting finishes in there as well, considering it's on the same weekend as the actual shootout itself.
Yeah, we'll be having throwback schemes for that race as well, like we did last year. So that's the throwback race for this year. So, got a little ways before that, but I am looking forward to the James and Dean Wickert Shootout too. Had an awesome event last year, and of course, honoring the lives of James and Dean Wickert. If you don't know, they were members of this community who unfortunately passed away a few years ago, and we like to commemorate them every year, just to represent the Inner 2003 community and what we mean to each other. And so we're looking forward to that. It's going to be returning to North Wilkesboro in 2020, and I know this guy, Alex, is definitely very excited for it, and we're excited that the Chick-fil-A Cup Series is going to be part of that weekend this year as well for the Southern States 400. But Nathan, you're the last one. You got your own team. You're going to be driving for the championship. I mean, I know you're excited for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series here this year, but what are you most excited for here coming into 2020?
Well, one of the things I'm excited for is, of course, having my own team in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. I've always wanted to do this, and now that I have the chance, I am really excited. Also, I'm excited of having my own team in the Turkey Hill Series, really expanding the NS Racing company into the NOFSRL. It was just very good. It's probably my second most used league that I do stuff with on and off besides my own. And overall, just with the changes for season number 9, season 10. So, just really excited. One of the interesting things that I'm kind of in between with is having the All-Star race and the All-Star Open not be at outdoor and have that be at Charlotte this year. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, we had a little bit of an interesting situation there. We didn't want the All-Star race to be super late in the season. That was where the problem was. And that weekend was up there. Charlotte was open. And going to be a bit of a different All-Star race. Mellow Yellow coming on board to sponsor the All-Star race for the first time ever, so that's a new thing. Of course, they're up in their sponsorship up with us here in the NOFSRL, the official soft drink of the NOFSRL. Go buy Mellow Yellow for us. But yeah, we got Mellow Yellow Speed Weeks, Mellow Yellow Smooth Fest, Mellow Yellow Duel, Mellow Yellow All-Star race, and caps off with the Mellow Yellow Southern 500 at Darlington in September. So, yeah, we appreciate that, but yeah, it's gonna be a fun race at Charlotte for the All-Star race, and it's gonna be a little bit shorter as well. Only gonna be 40 laps in the actual All-Star race and 20 laps in the Open there, so it's gonna be interesting to change things up there for the All-Star race in 2020. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are all excited. Hope you guys watching are excited as well. A lot of work has gone into this. A lot of work has gone into the Turkey Hill Series. Something I haven't mentioned in this video yet. You probably have noticed it by now. But we got the logos on the track now, which is pretty cool. Thanks to Marty for helping me out with that and showing me how to do it. Of course, he's going to be doing some of the tracks that we have here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but I did this one. We were originally, and you might have noticed in the schedule video how we had a newer version of Daytona in there. We were originally going to try to use that, but you know me, you know my love affair for this racetrack. This is my absolute favorite track in 2003, Speedway Physics, and I was trying to mimic the racing we get here onto the newer version. The problem is the LP files are made for a track without safer barriers, and there are safer barriers on that track, and they would shoot up into that wall just a little too much, and it just wasn't fair, in my opinion, to other drivers to hit the wall and get Darlington stripes at Daytona. This is not realistic, so yeah. That's why we went ahead, moved those logos down, trying to get a better angle for you here. Wow. But you can kind of see a Florida's Natural 300 logo there. That's going to be the Turkey Hill Series opening event for the Chick-fil-A Cup, or for the Turkey Hill Series. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm not even paying attention, but you can see right there, we got all the NOFSRL Series logos in the infield right there. A little bit difficult to get a good angle to see them, but all 4 NOFSRL Series. Of course, we'll have a 5th one with the Haas IndyCar Series starting in May, with the Nutrien Pro Series, Jonathan Logan Series, New Era Cup Series, Marty Series, and then, of course, the stuff on the Fan Chick-fil-A Cup Series, Turkey Hill Series, and then later on in May, the Haas IndyCar Series. Of course, they don't come here, so we don't have their logo down there, but yeah, that's another big thing we're doing. We got an intro and an intro theme for the NOFSRL as well. And we're looking at hopefully sometime early next week of doing a bit of a press conference and just showing all the new changes to the NOFSRL and what we plan on doing. Not only that, we are sponsoring the Core Race. Yes, that Core League that all those other famous YouTubers do on NASCAR Heat 4. We're sponsoring the race before Mellow Yellow Speed Weeks begins, just before, as a matter of fact. Thursday, February 6th, we're sponsoring the Auto Club race for this, guys, the NOFSRL 200. Go ahead, check that out. We'd appreciate it, and I gave him $15 for that, so it better be worth it. But yeah, we're definitely excited. Big year for the NOFSRL. Gotta thank Marty for all that he's done with this league. Gotta thank Jonathan for painting a lot of the schemes. He's doing a great job with his series. And we're just excited. We're here because we love doing it, and we hope you enjoy it as well. So cheers to a great 2020. We'll see what happens. And I'm looking forward to it. And then Speed Weeks begins just a couple of weeks. We got the Smooth Fest, my absolute favorite event to do. Love to kick it off with that race. And I know you guys are looking forward to that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Yeah, very true. Just the whole deal with the NOFSRL for 2020 is huge. So I'm really looking forward to it. I know I said this already, but this is my number 1 favorite league. But tied for my favorite league besides my own. This is a blast to be a part of, and I'm really looking forward to see how this league will do in 2020.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for this season as well, just for the fact of, as Napa said before, we're here because it's fun. We're having fun doing it, and that's without a doubt. And of course, as he said before, thanks to Marty and everyone who helps the NOFSRL, but the big leagues here that we come to know and love, we can't thank one particular person enough for those, and that's Napa Fan. We can't thank him enough for that. He's done all this stuff back from the NRLOA, brings him over to the NOFSRL, and creates such great content and makes these races truly amazing. So we can't thank him enough for that at all.
I didn't pay him to say that either. That was a genuine,
that
was a genuine statement. I would never ask.
Yeah, that was not a payment.
But thank you so much, Alex. I definitely appreciate it. And hey, I just enjoy doing it, and I want to do a good job too. I care about it enough. If I spend this much time doing it, I might as well put out a good product. And I'm glad you guys enjoy it. And yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to it. Once we get to the racing, that's when it calms down for me. Actually, it was really busy, especially during Christmas. Because where I work, we have a big Christmas display, and it's our busiest time of the year, and gotta be there a lot, so it was a little bit tough during December trying to figure things out. Had a little bit of time off in January, but school just recently started back up. Thankfully, it's not, too much pressure on me to do school, thankfully, but still, I thank you guys so much. You guys, especially you guys who've been here since the beginning. It means so much. I mean, we began in 2015 doing this. Technically 2014. I know a couple of you guys were back in those days as well. And some of you guys are just still here in 2020. I mean, 6 years later, it's unbelievable. This has been an awesome journey, and I hope to continue it for many years to come. It's all on you guys who just come and enjoy this and support the channel, support the NOFSRL. I can't thank you guys enough, and we do this for you. We do this for ourselves too. We enjoy it. That's why we do it. But we do it for you as well because we know you guys love it, and yeah. Here we go. 2020 is just around the corner. It's going to be a fantastic year for us in the NOFSRL especially. And in the NIRA as well. We got Nathan here. He's got his own league. He's a league president. And here I'm talking about my league. And you guys are going to have a great year as well. And, of course, we're very close friends in NIRA and NOFSRL. And, yeah, this is going to be a great year for this part of the Inner 2003 community. And I love this part of the Inner 2003 community. I think this is the best place for me. In my opinion, it is the best part of the NOFSRL community. It is the NOFSRL, NARA area. This little corner of our community is it's awesome, and I'm blessed to be part of it. God bless all you. You're awesome people to be around, and yeah, we're doing all this for you guys, and we hope you enjoy it here in 2020. But either way, it's pretty fitting that this number 40 car picks up right where I left off from last year. Of course, King Art Family Racing, the owner of this team, they had the fastest time here in Preseason Thunder. Like I mentioned, it has nothing to do with how well these guys are going to do the whole season. But hey, good sign for that team. They don't have a driver yet, but they still got a fast car. Maybe it was the car the whole time. Maybe that number 40 will win a championship again. We'll just have to see. But top 10 fastest, number 40 for King Art Family Racing, number 79 driven by Daniel McMillan for Otter Island Motorsports, number 35 for Velocitar Racing, number 47 driven by Mitchell Henderson for Trans Tasman Racing, number 28 driven by Herjo Larvin Alonso for American Motorsports, number 68 for Full Frontal Motorsports, number 77 driven by Jesse Turner for Otter Island Motorsports, number 24 driven by Andrew Miller for Zidell Motorsports, number 34 driven by Cameron Garlington for American Motorsports, and number 75 driven by Matt Delia for Otter Island Motorsports. The only team that has all their cars inside the top 10 is Otter Island Motorsports, which is my team. I am not rigging it, don't worry. But like I mentioned, it doesn't really play into how well these guys are going to do once the season begins. But like I said, we're excited for it. I don't think I need to say that again. We've definitely shown that throughout this video here tonight.
That's true.
But yeah, I don't mean to take over the broadcast, but I know that you did say stuff about the NIA. Just recently, a couple of weeks ago, we just started season 2 of the M&M's Truck series, one of my favorite series to do. That's gonna end in about 2 months, and then in late March, there'll be sign-ups for season 3 of the Red Bull Cup series, Krispy Kreme series, M&M's Truck series in late March, and then in early April, it's gonna be all 3 series for the 3rd season and IROC, and start out with April, and it's just gonna be awesome. That's all I can say. This is gonna be not only my year, but also the NOFSRL's year as well. I'm really excited for 2020.
And we're in it together, man. That's what I love about it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's help each other out.
Then I don't have an NR 2003 league, but I'm just here for
Hey, you're one of the official Chick-fil-A Cup
Yeah.
Series commentators, so you know what? I think that's pretty good. Alex doesn't have a league either. He does the same thing, so.
Yeah, all I can say, Trey, is that, like, yeah, you don't have NR 2003, but you're still a very viable asset, I should say,
Absolutely.
into the whole NR community. So don't worry about like thinking like you don't have NR, because trust me.
And that's the great thing about the community. We allow everyone to be part of it some way, shape, or form, and that's what I love doing, is helping people out, get their names out there. That's why I like having you guys along with me, and my friends, for one thing. You're also really good commentators, and yeah, we're going to have a great year here in the NOFSRL 2020. All right.
Yeah.
Got 21 seconds left here in preseason Thunder testing. Hope you guys have enjoyed the broadcast here tonight. Hope you get fired up for season number 9 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. New Era Cup Series coming up here soon as well. Marty's doing a lot of big things over there. I'm not entirely sure if he's going to do a preseason Thunder or not, but like I mentioned, if you click that link down below for the Discord right there, the NRA, or no, NOFSRL Discord. You can also check out the NRA Discord as well. I'm pretty sure you can find a link for that somewhere, but
Yeah.
NOFSRL Discord is the place to be for all the info. That's where we post all the updates, everything Chick-fil-A Cup Series, New Era Cup Series, Nutrient Pro Series, everything gets updated right there. Great place to hang out. We definitely appreciate if you join it. If you have Discord, love to have you around over there, because it's a great place to be. But other than that, I think this that's it. All the business is done for the night. And our fastest driver car is the number 40 machine. That one was the Kinghart family racing car that won the championship last year. It's not driven by Nathan Baird this year, but the car is driven to succeed. I can tell you that much. Of course, like I mentioned it one last time. It doesn't really make much of a difference on how well these cars do here in this session compared to how they're going to do in the season. Doesn't really have much of an effect, but definitely gives us a taste of all the paint schemes and all that, and it's really cool to see all these guys have their opportunities and just to showcase their cars before the season begins, because once we get to the Melio Smooth Fest, it's business. Not really. Smooth Fest is kind of a fun race, but we're definitely focused on the championship, how well these drivers are doing. Chris will have every car filled up. We'll have all these different drivers. Some of them, they probably never even raced on Epiphan before. They'll be starting the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. That happens usually with a couple of drivers every year. I'll have a lot of new guys in the Turkey Hill Series as well. So we're going to get used to all that once it finally comes aboard. But yeah, final thoughts on preseason Thunder here, and looking forward to 2020.
I guess I'll start off then. Really no one wants to. I was gonna give someone the chance. I should have gone
to someone specifically.
Yeah, but
I figured you guys would figure it out on your own. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we would, but at the same time, like, I don't want to interrupt, and I know Trey doesn't, and I know Nathan doesn't, and that kind of puts us like in a little stuck situation. But yeah, I think I'll start off in saying, I honestly can't wait for Smooth Fest. I think it's gonna be a great race this year. Just seeing how the racing is right now in preseason testing, I honestly can't wait for Smooth Fest, just because it's gonna have a lot of action, and it's a non-points race. So you know that a lot more tensions are gonna be on the line and trying to get a win, especially at a race like this. Now, I think I'll pass it on to my good friend Nathan Stapleton. I don't think I've passed it on to him much tonight, so I'll pass it to Nathan.
Well, just overall, this season I'm really excited. Chick-fil-A Cup Series is finally back in a couple of weeks. With the Smooth Fest, aka the Napa fans version of the Busch class, and his version of my Powerade Clash as well. So I'm really excited for that to start for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and it's going to be one heck of a year for the NOFSRL. I can't wait.
So I guess I'll pick up whatever scraps I can leave off. So Season 9 definitely going to be a year of change. Like I said earlier, the new schedule format, the new venues and old venues, and the new points format. Definitely a lot of very awesome looking paint schemes that are there on the track tonight. Can't wait to see those both in the day and under the lights. So definitely going to be exciting to see what comes of this season. And like you said, that 40 car start picking up right where it left off. So maybe that car will do good. We'll just have to wait and see. So definitely cannot wait to see where this season goes. And it's definitely going to be one of those Chick-fil-A Cup Series seasons where everyone just remembers exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Season number 9. I mean, not many in our leagues get to season number 9, but we managed to do it somehow. But like I mentioned, I gotta owe it all to you guys. You guys enjoyed it, and I kept on doing it. And hey, we're still here, and we're looking forward to it. Some important dates right here. Next Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It is the main sign-ups for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and at 7:30 it's sign-ups for the Turkey Hill Series. You cannot be in both series. You can only drive in one series or the other. However, if you're in the Turkey Hill Series, you will get an opportunity, only unless you're an owner in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, you will get an opportunity to race in a couple of Chick-fil-A Cup Series races because we're bringing back the Turkey Hill Hot Seat program. That was a great addition in 2018. We didn't have it last year. We're going to bring it back. And of course, February 7th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Mellow Yellow Smooth Fest. Enough said, don't need to say anything else about that. Best darn race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series in February. I mean, I don't know, the Daytona Thunder is a great race too, but I absolutely love the Smooth Fest. It's one of the most unique races. Well, it's not really that unique, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I like the name. I think the name is unique. No one has a Smooth Fest. We're the only league that has that. So we're special because of it. So hopefully you enjoy it. February 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're just having fun at this point. But either way, that's when that is. Daytona 500 is going to be February 15th at noon Eastern Time. And of course, that's the race that kicks off the points racing season. And it's a huge one. Everyone wants to win it. Defending champion Josh Marzak's probably not going to be in it this year. So we're going to get a new winner most likely. Definitely looking forward to see how it all plays out here in a couple of weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks right here at Daytona for the Season 9 Mellow Yellow Smooth Fest. A lot of these guys you see, the names on your screen right there, they're going to be in that race, so I'm going to have to see who gets it done in the first Napa Fan race of 2020. On behalf of Trey Wright, Alex Bonsignor, and Nathan Staplin, thank you guys so much for watching Preseason Thunder. We'll see you guys next week for signups, and 2 weeks from now for the Mellow Yellow Smooth Fest. I will see you guys later!
See y'all.
See you guys.
See y'all.